Why do you think you need motivation? I mean, why do you look for it? What makes you think I need some motivation? Well, I've got some answers and some thoughts on this, so let's find out. Welcome back. Hi. Subscribe. Simple, clean, easy. Why do you feel you need motivation? So this kind of follows on from my episode about kind of motivation, and as I said many times, I honestly don't believe you can motivate someone to do something. They either want to do it or don't want to do it, as simple as that. But when it comes to this kind of material, if you like, this kind of information, these sort of videos, it's often said, you know, oh,
Daz does motivational videos.
They're gonna find me out. Weird timing on that one. Daz does motivational videos, and it's sort of, I suppose, to a point, a kind of yes-ish, sort of. I think because it naturally falls into that genre or that bucket of kind of motivational videos or motivational stuff, like, you know, Tony Robbins does, Dean Graziosi does, etc, etc. But I think it's an important thing to kind of differentiate between the two, because motivation, I believe, is something that comes from sort of inside. So I think it's primarily based on wants and needs, because if you're hungry, you need food. So you will then be motivated to get food, whether that's go to the cupboard or the shop in modern times, or go hunting as a caveman. Either way, you're motivated to satisfy that need or that want. If you want a chocolate bar, you don't need a chocolate bar, but if you want a chocolate bar, you either get one from the cupboard or go to the shop, etc. You're motivated through a want or a need. It's external motivation that I don't believe exists, because either you want that to do that thing or you don't, based on your internal need or want. So someone else kind of telling you or influencing you or sort of rallying you up to do that, you may well sort of do something because of that, but it's not fundamentally the thing that's driving you. It's because probably you had a want to do it. So for example, you might go to a Tony Robbins event. They're very powerful because of the huge social proof that he has, and everyone's got the energy, everyone wants to kind of change, and whether it's walking on fire and all that stuff. Now, if you just went there, just very ambivalent, and then you sort of listen to the things, and it's, you know, you want to change various things, blah, blah, blah. It's probably unlikely you would change anything because you were kind of ambivalent about the whole thing. Generally, people go to those events, and not just Tony Robbins, but all kind of people that produce those type of events, because they are looking to do something. They want to do something, and perhaps really they don't know how to. So that want or need is then pushed up and empowered by the kind of the event and the crowd and Tony Robbins, etc. So then then you're likely to do that thing because you've kind of been more empowered. But ultimately, you wanted to do it in the first place. Now, if you didn't want to change or didn't want to do anything, it's highly unlikely you'd go to the event in the first place. But if you didn't want to change, you went there, it's unlikely you would do any change because you fundamentally don't want to. So motivation, I believe, is an internal thing that kind of drives you to various actions. What I consider, what I do really, is more sort of inspiration more than motivation. By giving examples or showing sort of maybe tips and tricks and techniques and stuff, that it kind of might inspire you to maybe do something. And that's very different to motivation. Motivation is kind of, yeah, let's do this. Which, I said, if you didn't want to do it in the first place, you're unlikely to do it, even by as much motivation as there is. With inspiration, it's something maybe new, something,
I never thought of it that way.
you know, it's a new idea of something. And the idea is to inspire people to maybe change their lives and live a better life and maybe start a side business and that kind of thing. It's more inspiration than motivation. I suppose you could argue there's an element of motivation in there, but again, it's more inspiration. So I want to differentiate the two firstly. So why do people feel they need motivation? Well, it's an interesting one. And I was asked a question today by my lovely colleague, Olivia. So I'll give you a quick shout out. And it was an interesting question because it's one I've been asked like many times. And I always answer this question in the same kind of way. I'm not calling her out or anything like that. It's just, she just asked this question that I've been asked before, and it's a good kind of illustrative question that I want to expand on. So the question is, okay, well, motivate me. Say something motivational. I suppose it's almost like going to a comedian, tell me a joke. Why don't you sort of put on the spot? And that's fine, it's not enough to have been put on the spot. But I think the interesting thing about the question, I'm not having a go or anything like that, I'm just, because it's a great question or request that people say. The issue with it, I think, is literally, like I said before, I don't think you can motivate people. So if someone says, like, okay, motivate me, or say something motivational, well, I always come back with the same kind of answer, and it's some crappy answer like, just get on with it then. Something like that, which is kind of jokey, and it kind of perhaps diverts the attention away from it, because there is sort of no answer, or there's no kind of stock answer to say something motivational, because as I said, I don't think you can motivate people, and there's inspirational things, and it's hard to kind of answer that. And so that's why I always come out with the same kind of crappy, ridiculously stupid answer. Whatever you say is kind of going to sound a bit sort of cheesy, because it's heavily out of context of, in the sort of an inspirational type situation. Certain things will sound incredibly cheesy out of context, but it does illustrate a very important point. People sort of hear or know that you do kind of motivational stuff, and so they sort of expect this kind of rallying and woo and stuff like that. Now, trust me, I'm all over shouting and yes, rally and stuff like that, but it's very, very contextual. It's very, very subjective, and it all depends on the situation. And also, not everyone reacts to the same kind of motivational talk, if that's a thing. Very, very personal of what you relate to, what you resonate with, to how you kind of would use that. And again, back to the original point, you have to want to do the thing in the first place. When people want motivation, and they say, I need motivation, I read some self-help books, I want some motivation to change my life, I want motivation to leave my current job and get a new job, or start studying, or motivation to go out dating again after they've divorced, or whatever it may be. I need motivation, my life's flat, I need some motivation. It's interesting, this is a very interesting thing, because if it's something you want to do, you truly want to do, it's amazing how much energy and effort you'll put into it if you truly want to do it. When someone's saying,
I need motivation to do this,
they clearly don't want to do it. If you truly want to do something, you'll do it. Now, there's knowing what to do, whole different subject completely, because if you go, I want to start a business and I want to kind of get more money, but I have no idea how to do that, what would I do? Different thing altogether, because then that's looking, I'm motivated but I don't know what to do, how can I find out? But then you subdivide it down. You don't know what to do, but then what's the first thing? Well, I don't know what to, how can I find out? And then where's the internet, library, friends, etc. You're kind of actively, so even if though it may be small steps, you're actively kind of moving along that line to be able to do the thing you want, because you might not know how to start a business, but you might know someone who has business, so you can then go and ask them something, and then so internet research, etc, etc, and you kind of go along the path rather than just staying there going, I want to do this, I need the motivation to do it, because clearly you don't want to do it, otherwise you do something about it. Simple as that. Same with getting fit, weight loss, anything. The amount of people who go,
oh yeah, I want to do this, I'm just not motivated to do it.
That's just another way of saying I don't want to do it. Simple as that. I may be just calling it out, but that's the reality. If you wanted to do it, you'd do it. But just going, I need motivation, I'm just not motivated to do it, is basically a lazy way of saying I don't want to do it, but it sounds better. It sounds like it's not then your fault. You want to do it, you'll do it. That's all I've got time for today. It's gone on a little bit longer than I initially thought, but hopefully you got some value and liked this video. If you did, hit that like button so it's nice and blue. And comment below. Are you doing what you actually truly love? Or are you kind of looking for motivation to do 1, 2, 4, 20 million things? Because if you are, why do you need motivation? Do that. Is it because you feel you ought to? Who knows? Comment below. I'd love to know. But for now, I will say thank you to Olivia for giving me that question or that statement and kind of providing the inspiration for this. She hasn't taken over from my inspiration of the lovely Gemma. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so down here. And check out my other video down here. And remember, live your best life and profit from that passion. See you next time. Bye-bye.